Hi friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you a mixed media layout that I created using all the products today. I pulled out all kinds of pattern papers from mini paper pads that I had in my stash, as well as some papers that were in my scrap bins, and created a layout using those papers. Of course, it was designed in Cricut Design Space as well, and it was cut with my Cricut Explorer. So as you can see, I'm starting with an ink blended background. I used Distress Oxide ink in Peacock Feather and a heart overlay that I had in my stash previously. I actually cut that with my Cricut as well. It's just a 6x6 inch square that I cut from stencil paper, stencil sheets. You can get that from Close to My Heart. There are other places that you can get it as well, but that's just where I happen to get mine. And then I added some splatter with Dylusions inks, and I think that was like Calypso Teal. I'll have to double check that. I'm not sure. I will include links to the products I used today in the description box down below, just in case you wanted to go check those out. So I cut some of these large florals using my Cricut. That's where the fun pattern papers comes in, and also this tag as well. This tag was cut from extra Echo Park pattern paper that I had from one of their Christmas collections or winter collection. And it actually came from Paper Issues in one of the scrapbook kits that they have every month. And then the flowers were backed with pattern papers that I had in mini albums, and all of those came from My Mind's Eye pattern papers, I do believe, and they are extremely old. I don't think you'll find them anywhere anymore, so I won't even mention the names because in the end it's not going to matter. I am going to layer my photos over top of the tag. The tag that is, or the portion of the tag that's sticking out is going to be reserved for my journaling. And of course you can see I'm adding my photos. So one was glued directly to the layout base, and then the other one had some craft foam added to it to pop it up a little bit, and then it's layered just slightly over the first picture. I needed to scrapbook these two pictures. My other daughter did this as well, both girls. They wanted to learn how to handwrite. And from what I gather and understand from the school that they go to, some teachers do teach cursive, but most don't. And they had asked me to teach them how to handwrite just in case they get teachers that are not interested in teaching the students how to do that. And of course, I was more than happy to teach them. So we did it the way I learned and just practiced the letters over and over and over again. And the novelty wore off rather quickly, as it does with kids. But actually, just the other day, one of the girls asked if I could teach them again. So we'll see what happens. So this layout is about learning cursive. The title is Actually I Can, because most kids nowadays cannot, and I'm really happy with my kids wanting to learn how to handwrite. I think that's pretty neat. So I may not have to print all my journaling forever now. Maybe one day I can actually handwrite it. I'm just embellishing my page now. I have a couple other pieces that I cut with my Cricut. You can see the little heart tab that I'm adding above the yellow flower. The little banner that I added to the top says Always Learning, and then I layered another die cut behind that. And now I'm going to add some stars around the page that are functioning as my enamel dots. I wanted to use a shape that was different than just circles. So this time I decided to cut some stars and sprinkle them around the page. Once that is done, honestly, I'm getting close to finishing this layout. I am going to be adding the journaling next. You can see me doing that right now. And the way I do that, I make my own journaling strips because I really like the way that it looks, and it was something that I had started doing because at the time I didn't have a printer. And now that I do have a printer, I'm being stingy and I'm trying not to do it too terribly often because, as we all know, ink is not cheap. So the way I do this is I take a piece of white cardstock and I use my craft mat, the one with all the lines in it, the measurements, to mark out 1/4 inch strips. And then I print my journaling in between those strips and then use scissors to cut them out. It's not perfect, but I think it still looks just as good as if I had done it on the computer. One day I would like to add a typewriter to my stash and use that instead. But in the meantime, this works a-okay. And then of course, if there's any pencil lines left behind, because I always use my pencil first, I just erase the marks that are still visible so that they're not visible. I felt like the layout was incomplete at this point, and I wanted to add a little bit more to the layout and decided to tear off a chunk of the base at the top and then pull in some more mint pattern paper. There is mint in some of the leaves around the layout as well. And honestly, I think that really helped to finish the layout off. I do add a little bit of stamping up at the top there where I'm just fluffing the paper, and then I add the date, which I'm doing right now, as well, in Close to My Heart espresso ink. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this layout inspired you to maybe try cutting your own stencil or ink blended background, or maybe even use a die cutting machine to do your crafting. I will be back again soon with more creative inspiration. In the meantime, definitely stick around for the close-ups because there is close-ups coming up as well. And I will be back very soon with another layout. If you enjoyed this layout, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and a like. And leave a comment as well, letting me know what you enjoyed about this layout. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell beside it so you don't miss any videos from me in the future. Have a great week, friends. Bye.